Hello everyone, my name is Colin Beer from Learning and Teaching Services here at CQ University. This video was originally intended for nursing students in an evidence-informed practice course, and we hope it'll provide you with some insight into some of the factors that contribute to success at university. My main area of research is in the field of learning analytics, which is basically how we can make better use of the data collected by our various university information systems to improve and enhance learning and teaching. Now, we do this mainly to help improve our learning and teaching environments, but also to help students succeed. Now, one of the problems that we're constantly grappling with is that more and more students are choosing to study via distance or online, and this presents a real problem for teachers. In a face-to-face class, we can usually tell at a glance whether or not students are or are not engaged. However, in an online or distance learning environment, students are not directly observable by the teachers, which makes it very difficult for us to identify that you might be struggling with your studies. So we're forced to rely on the data provided by our various learning systems to figure this out. As such, we're always looking at how we can make better use of our data to help our students. Now, one of the more obvious correlations we noticed some years ago was the link between student activity on Moodle and student grades. Now, you can see on this chart here, there's a correlation between student activity on Moodle as indicated by mouse clicks and student grades. So the high distinction students spend more time and effort exploring the various activities and resources provided within the Moodle course sites. The next chart here suggests a similar result and is showing the breadth of exploration by the various student grade groups. So what this is showing is that the higher achieving students access a wider variety of the activities and resources provided by each of the Moodle course sites. Now, it's useful to note that we're not talking about a linear system here where cause is directly related to effect. So while we might be able to track mouse clicks within information systems, we can't infer the meaning behind those clicks. So take these numbers with a grain of salt, as they are representing averages across large numbers of students. However, what these charts do show is a relationship between your level of effort and the resulting grade. The more you engage with the resources and activities within each of your Moodle course sites, the more likely you are to pass or get a higher grade. Now, another thing we've noticed is that the first day that students access their Moodle course sites can be an indicator of success. At CQ University, our Moodle course sites are made available to students 2 weeks prior to the official start of term, and what we've found is that on average, students who get in early and start exploring their Moodle course sites are the students who perform well. On average, successful students will access the Moodle course sites prior to the official start of term, while the less successful students don't access these activities and resources until after term has started. Now, just out of interest, this chart is showing when, on average, the different generational groups first access their Moodle course sites. So this is showing that the younger generations, the Gen Zs and Gen Ys, tend not to access their Moodle course sites as early as us older folk do. Now, I'm not sure you can infer much from this, but it is interesting nonetheless. But my advice to you would be to get in early and explore each of your Moodle course sites as soon as you can. This can save you a lot of anxiety later on when time gets tight. So this chart here is looking at student participation on Moodle course discussion forums. Now, generally, higher achieving students make more posts and replies on the Moodle forums than other students. This is also reflected in some of the other research we've conducted that shows that the high achieving students tend to be the ones who ask more questions on the discussion forums. Just remember, there's no such thing as a stupid question, and if you don't know the answer, chances are you aren't the only one. So don't be afraid to ask questions on the Moodle course forums so others can either answer or benefit from the answer. So in summary, there are 3 take-home messages from all of this talk about data. Firstly, get onto your Moodle course sites as early as you can. This will help you out when time gets tight, around assessment time usually. Secondly, explore each of your Moodle course sites thoroughly and get a sense of how they are arranged and where the important resources are. And don't forget, make sure you're familiar with the course profile for each of your courses. It can be found on the top left-hand side of every Moodle course site and outlines important course elements such as assessment. Thirdly, Use your course discussion forums and visit them frequently for any updates. Don't be afraid of asking questions on the discussion forums. Remember, there are no stupid questions. Thanks everyone, and good luck with your studies.